This is the Cancer Boss Method podcast, the place to be when cancer sucks and you don't want it to. I'm Leslie Nance, survivor, cancer coach, and healing mentor. Come learn the truth about what your role is in your own healing. No BS, just real strategies from a cancer coach who has been there, done that. And I'm talking about healing. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cancer Boss Method podcast, where we talk about healing, not just from the body, but from the heart, the mind, and the soul. And today I want to talk about something that has been coming up a lot in my own reflections, also in my coaching, and even in my own personal journey as a cancer survivor. And it's what I call the authority wound. And this concept may sound new to you, but I promised it's something that many of us carry, whether we are aware of it or not. And today I want to take you on a deep dive into what it is, how it impacts your healing, and how you can begin to free yourself from its hold. So in this episode, this isn't just about learning. This is about an awakening. It's about discovering a truth that has the potential to profoundly shift the way that you are approaching your healing. So I want you to grab your tea, find a cozy spot, and let's dive in today. So let's start with the simple question. Have you ever doubted yourself? Duh. Yes, of course we have. So maybe it went down like this. Maybe you were sitting in a doctor's office and they told you something that shook you to your core. Maybe it was a teacher or a boss or even a family member who made you feel like your decisions weren't valid, like you couldn't trust yourself to know what was best for you. That feeling, that moment where that voice overrides your intuition, that's the authority wound in action. And the authority wounds stems from experiences where someone in a position of power, an authority figure, made us feel small or incapable or even wrong. And they might have said something like, "You're not good enough," or "You don't know what you're talking about." Or maybe it wasn't words at all. Maybe it was just a look or a sigh or a sense of dismissal that made you question your worth in the moment. Over time, these moments leave scars. And these scars don't just sit quietly in the background. They shape the way that we see ourselves, the decisions, the way that we make decisions, and yes, even the way that we approach our healing. Now let's talk about how this shows up specifically in the context of cancer, because if there's one thing that I know, it is that healing requires more than just treatments and protocols. It requires something much deeper in us, and that's trust. Trust in your body, trust in your intuition, and trust in your ability to make a decision for yourself. But here's the problem. When you're carrying around a lot of unresolved authority wounds, that trust can feel nearly impossible. So think about this. Have you ever sat in a doctor's office and heard something like, "This is your only option," or "Your diet doesn't matter, eat what you want," or "You shouldn't get your hopes up"? Even if those words were said with the best intentions, what they often communicate is this: you don't know what's best, or healing isn't within your control, or your body isn't capable. And then maybe you leave that office and someone you love says something even that just digs the knife in deeper into that wound, which is, "Are you sure these are the right choices?" Or, "I read somewhere that people don't really recover from this kind of cancer." And then there's that other voice, the one from the past, the teacher who called you dramatic, the parent who said you were weak, the boss who dismissed your ideas. All of these voices converge, and suddenly you're left feeling like that you don't have a say in your own healing. Here's the truth. The authority wound doesn't just live in your mind. It impacts your body. When you mistrust yourself, it creates a ripple effect. You might hesitate to take action, second-guessing every decision that you make. Should I try this therapy? Should I do this treatment? Should I have this surgery? Should I change my diet? Should I rest more? Am I resting too much? Does resting mean that I'm sick? You might start to rely entirely on external authorities, deferring every decision to your doctors or even asking millions of people what you should do, even when your instincts tell you that something feels off. And that mistrust right there, it creates a stress in us. And as many of you know, chronic stress can suppress your immune system. It can increase inflammation in the body, and it can make it harder for your body to do what it's designed to do, which is heal. But here's what I want you to know. Your body is not broken. Even in the midst of illness, your body is working for you right now as you're listening to this podcast. It is seeking balance. It's seeking healing. And when you begin to trust it, when you start to rebuild that partnership, amazing things can happen. So how do we shift from mistrust to confidence, from disempowerment to partnership? I want to give you 5 transformational steps that will ignite your healing and help you reclaim your power today, starting like right now. First off, number 1, you might want to jot this down. You might want to pause this right now and go get a pen and paper and write this down. Number 1, name the voice to tame the doubt. It all begins with awareness. That voice in your head, the one that makes you question yourself, like, whose voice is it? Is it a parent's criticism from years ago? Is it a teacher's dismissal? Is it a doctor's authority? And then I want you to ask yourself, when did I start believing that I couldn't trust myself? What story have I been carrying? And is it even true? This isn't about blame. It's about breaking the spell of doubt and seeing the truth clearly. When you name the voice, you take away its power. Number 2, stand up and reclaim your authority. Look it, your power was never really gone. It was just waiting for you to take it back. Start small every day. Make one decision that aligns with your instincts. Ask yourself, what feels true to me right now? And then trust the freaking answer. Reclaiming your authority is like building a muscle. It gets stronger with use. Anchor it with affirmations like, I trust my body to heal. I am capable of making decisions that serve my highest good. Every time you choose to trust over doubt, you're taking a stand for yourself. Make sure you're recognizing that. Number 3, heal the past with radical compassion. Let's talk about forgiveness here, but not the kind that you've been taught. This isn't about letting someone else off the hook. It's about releasing the grip that their words or their actions have had on you. So I just want you to picture your younger self, the version of you who first felt this wound. And what does she need to hear right now? What would you say to comfort her? Maybe you'd say something like, hey, honey, you are not broken. You are more powerful than you realize. When you offer compassion to that younger version of you, you begin to heal the wound at its source. Number 4, flip the script on failure. Here's the hard truth. Healing is not a straight line. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and sometimes it feels like you're going backwards. But here's the thing. Failure is not the end of the story. It's the middle. Every setback is a lesson, a pivot point. Instead of asking, why did this happen? Start asking, what is it teaching me? And when fear starts to creep in, remember the famous words of Aaron Hansen. What if I fail? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? The only way to know is to try. And then finally, number 5, one of my favorite things to do, which is to celebrate the tiny wins. Healing isn't about some grand gesture. It's about the small, steady steps that stack up over time. The nourishing meal that you made, celebrate it. The moment that you trusted yourself, celebrate it. That one deep breath when things felt really overwhelming, celebrate it. Every single one of those moments matter. They're proof that you're moving forward. This is how transformation happens, not in these giant leaps forward, but in the little things that you choose to spotlight every single day. The authority wound isn't your fault. It's not a sign of weakness or failure. It's simply a story that you've carried for too long. But here's the beautiful thing. Stories can be rewritten. And healing begins when you decide to trust yourself again, to believe in your body's wisdom, to step into your power as the healer of your own life. Your body is not an enemy. Even right now, remember, it's working tirelessly for you, and it's your greatest ally. So let me ask you, what would it feel like to fully trust yourself today? Take that question with you and reflect on it. And remember, healing doesn't begin with certainty. It begins with trust. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if this episode resonated with you, make sure you share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And always as a reminder, you are capable, you are worthy, and you are healing. And cancer's not your destiny. If you have enjoyed this episode, it's time to connect. Make sure you follow this podcast and check out all the socials on anystagecancer.com. If you're ready to talk about your own healing using the Cancer Boss method, then click the link below this episode. Hey, and remember, cancer's not your destiny. Okay, I'm outie.